The Great Hall of the Galactic Council was filled with voices. Alien leaders from 100 worlds spoke with pride. They discussed trade, war, and the balance of power. But today, one subject made them laugh louder than any other. The subject was Earth, a small blue planet far from the galactic core. For years, the Council had watched humanity grow. They saw humans invent machines, build cities, and fight wars. But in the eyes of the Council, it was not enough. One elder with silver scales stood and raised his voice. Humanity is weak. They fight among themselves. They lack unity. They have no place among the stars, he said. The chamber echoed with laughter. Another alien, tall with burning red eyes, added, "They are irrelevant. They are nothing. Why waste resources on a primitive world?" The words spread like poison through the Council. A decision was made. The Council officially declared Earth irrelevant. No trade, no protection, no voice in the stars. On Earth, the news reached hidden ears. Deep inside a secret base below the mountains, a group of humans watched the Council broadcast. Among them was Commander Elias Kane, a man known for his cold eyes and sharp mind. He listened to the laughter of the aliens. He saw the words irrelevant flash on the screen. His jaw tightened. Around him, scientists, soldiers, and leaders sat in silence. The room grew heavy with anger. "They think we are weak," Elias said, his voice calm but burning with fire. "They believe humanity has no power." He turned to his people. "They forget who we are. They forget our history. They forget that when humans are pushed down, we rise higher." The room filled with whispers. A woman, Dr. Layla Marquez, placed her hand on the table. "They laugh because they have not seen what we built in the shadows," she said. Her eyes shined with determination. For years, humanity had worked in secret, projects hidden under oceans, inside asteroids, and beyond the moon. Ships unlike any seen before were waiting. Weapons designed not for defense, but for war. The Council believed Earth was irrelevant, but Earth had prepared for the day it would need to prove itself. That night, a signal was sent, not through secret channels, not in whispers, but openly. The Council's great broadcast system suddenly glitched. Every alien leader in the chamber froze as the screen turned black. Then a human face appeared. It was Commander Elias. His eyes were cold, his words sharp. "You call us irrelevant," he said, his voice echoing across the stars. "You laugh at us, you dismiss us, but you will learn the price of underestimating humanity." Gasps filled the Council chamber. The elder with silver scales hissed, "How dare they?" Elias leaned closer to the screen. "Earth does not beg for respect. Earth earns it, and if you declare us irrelevant, then we declare war." The words fell like thunder. The transmission ended. Silence consumed the Council hall. For the first time in centuries, alien leaders felt a spark of fear. The humans had spoken with defiance. The humans had challenged the entire galaxy. Some laughed nervously. "They are only words. What can they do?" But deep inside, a few Council members remembered the history of humans, a race that survived endless wars, plagues, disasters, and still stood strong, a race that never surrendered. And now that race had declared war, on Earth the people waited. In cities, on farms, in hidden bases. They heard the words of their leader. Some were afraid, some were angry, but all of them felt something powerful. For the first time in generations, humanity was united. Children whispered to each other, "We are not irrelevant. We are strong." Soldiers tightened their fists. Scientists pushed their projects faster. The world moved as one in the Sabrudus. High above Earth, hidden satellites powered up. Deep beneath the oceans, great machines hummed awake. Inside secret hangars, the first human warships prepared for launch. The galaxy did not know it yet, but humanity was ready, ready to fight, ready to rise, ready to show the truth. And as the stars watched silently, the war for respect had begun. The Council did not take Earth's message seriously. In their eyes, humanity was still a small world with small ships. Many leaders mocked the human threat as empty words, but among them, a few wise voices whispered that this was a mistake. Still, the Council prepared a lesson. They decided to send a fleet to the edge of Earth's space, not to destroy, only to intimidate. They wanted humanity to see the strength of the galaxy and bow. The fleet was massive. 30 alien warships armed with weapons that had crushed countless enemies. They moved like shadows through the void. Everywhere they went, colonies surrendered without firing a shot. The alien admiral smiled. "This will be over before it begins," he said. But humanity had been watching. Every movement of the alien fleet was tracked by Earth's secret satellites. Every code, every formation, every weapon was studied, and deep under the surface of the moon, humanity prepared a surprise. Commander Elias Kane stood in the command chamber. Before him, a hologram showed the alien fleet approaching. Around him were men and women who had worked in silence for decades. Elias spoke calmly. "The Council comes to remind us we are irrelevant, but tonight we remind them who we are." The room filled with nods and cold determination. Dr. Layla Marquez pressed a control. Massive hangar doors opened beneath the surface of the moon, and from the darkness rose ships no alien had ever seen. They were sharp, angular, built for speed and destruction. Each one carried weapons designed to pierce alien shields. The first generation of Earth's hidden war fleet. The codename was Project Revenant. 20 ships, smaller than alien war cruisers, but faster, smarter. Down. Edlier, Elias raised his hand. "Launch," he commanded, and the void around the moon exploded with fire and steel. The alien fleet detected the human ships too late. They expected slow, clumsy machines, but the human vessels moved like predators. Missiles cut through space, striking alien shields with terrifying precision. Lasers carved holes in ships once thought invincible. The alien admiral screamed orders, but chaos had already begun. For every human ship destroyed, 2 alien warships fell. The galaxy's arrogance shattered in that first strike. On the Council's world, leaders stared in horror at the reports. "This is impossible," one shouted. "How can Earth fight like this?" another demanded. But the truth was undeniable. Humanity had been preparing for years. They had studied alien technology, stolen secrets, and built weapons beyond expectation. And now they revealed them without fear. Back on the battlefield, Elias's voice was steady. "Push them back. Do not give them time to breathe." Human ships darted between massive alien cruisers. Their weapons cut deeper than anyone thought possible. In less than an hour, 10 alien warships burned in silence. The rest limped away, broken and humiliated. The first battle was over, and humanity had won. News spread across the galaxy like fire. For the first time, aliens whispered with unease. The humans were not irrelevant. The humans were dangerous. Some species felt fear, others felt respect. But all of them now knew the truth. Earth was no longer silent. Earth had entered the war. Commander Elias stood before his crew. He looked at the faces of soldiers, engineers, and scientists. "You have done more than fight a battle," he said. "You have shown the galaxy that humanity will not kneel." Cheers erupted, but Elias's eyes remained cold. "This is only the beginning," he warned. "The Council will come back, and next time they will bring everything they have." In the darkness of space, wrecks of alien warships floated like graves. The first strike of humanity had been made. The galaxy trembled. And the war for respect grew stronger. The galaxy could not believe the news. 30 warships sent to Earth's border had been broken by a handful of human vessels. The Council called it a disaster, but humans called it a beginning. In the shadows of deep space, humanity's greatest secrets still slept. While alien fleets licked their wounds, Earth prepared to reveal its true strength. For decades, hidden projects had been built in silence, shipyards carved inside hollow asteroids, factories buried beneath oceans, weapons designed not for defense but for vengeance. Commander Elias Kane walked through a dark hangar. Before him stood a giant unlike any ship humanity had shown yet. It was black, sharp, built with stolen alien alloys and human innovation. Its engines hummed with energy no alien sensors had ever recorded. Dr. Layla Marquez followed him, her eyes wide. "This is what they feared," she whispered. Elias nodded. "Project Revenant was only the opening move. This is the arsenal that will break the Council." The ship was called Erebus, a warship larger than anything Earth had ever dared to build. Not a single nation had built it alone. It was born from the unity of a world that refused to be erased. Inside its core burned a weapon no alien had seen, a rail cannon capable of tearing through dreadnought armor, a shield system adapted from alien designs but powered by human fury. Far away, Council spies crept across the edges of human space. They disguised themselves as traders and travelers, but they were hunters searching for answers. How had Earth grown so powerful? What weapons still remained unseen? They followed signals, whispers, rumors. until one spy glimpsed the shadow of Erebus rising from an asteroid shipyard. His blood ran cold. He sent the message back to the council. The humans have built something impossible. In the council chamber, fear spread. Fire. One leader shouted, "They are primitives, they cannot do this." Another answered, "Yet they have done it, and if we wait, they will only grow stronger." The council debated, voices filled with panic. Some called for peace, others demanded full extermination. But deep inside, all of them knew the truth. Humanity was no longer irrelevant. Humanity was becoming a threat. Meanwhile, on Earth, the people worked without rest. Factories thundered day and night. Pilots trained until their hands bled. Children grew up with fire in their hearts, whispering that they would fight the galaxy one day. Humanity had found unity through war, and in that unity was a strength the galaxy could not measure. Commander Elias stood before his crew inside Erebus. He spoke not with rage, but with conviction. The council thought we were weak. They thought we would stay silent, but every insult built this moment. Every laugh sharpened our resolve. We will not stop, not until humanity is respected among the stars. The crew cheered, their voices like thunder in the steel walls. At that moment, far across the galaxy, alien scouts reported again. More shipyards discovered, more weapons rising. The humans had not built one Erebus, they had built many. An entire hidden fleet forged in secret. The council trembled because they finally understood. The first battle had not been humanity's full strength. It had been only a warning, and now the hidden arsenal of Earth was ready to awaken. The galaxy woke to fire. What began as whispers about Earth's defiance became screams of war. Alien colonies near the human border shook with fear. For the first time in centuries, the mighty fleets of the Council were not the hunters. They were the hunted. Human warships poured from hidden shipyards. They struck with speed and fury. Stations that once mocked Earth now burned in silence. Alien admirals demanded to know how humans move so fast, but no answer came. Only explosions across the stars. Commander Elias Kane watched the first wave of battles from the command bridge of Erebus. His face was carved in stone, cold and unshaken. Beside him, Dr. Layla Marquez whispered, "Every world they mocked us on, every insult, every word irrelevant, we are answering now." Elias nodded. "We will remind them with fire." The council fought back. They sent fleets larger than any humanity had ever seen, thousands of ships, weapons blazing, but humans refused to fight like the council expected. They did not line up their fleets like prey. Instead, they used traps, ambushes, deception. A single human squadron could vanish in the dark, only to appear behind enemy lines and tear cruisers apart. The galaxy was learning that humans did not fight with size, they fought with cunning. In one sector, a small human colony was attacked. Children and families hid in bunkers as alien soldiers marched through the streets. The ground shook, walls cracked, screams filled the air. And then the sky ripped open. Human warships descended like avenging shadows. Soldiers poured into the streets, armed with weapons designed to pierce alien armor. The battle was brutal. Every street became a river of fire, and when it ended, the colony still stood. The people rose from the bunkers and shouted one word: humanity. Across the galaxy, the pattern repeated. Alien fleets pushed forward, only to be thrown back. Planets burned, stations shattered. Worlds that once mocked Earth whispered new words in fear. Perhaps the humans cannot be stopped. But war was not only fire, it was sacrifice. Elias stood over a report of fallen ships, thousands of human lives lost in a single week. Faces of young soldiers stared at him from glowing screens. He clenched his fists. "We bleed, but we do not bow," he said. His voice carried across the fleet, and every soldier whispered the same words. "We do not bow." In the council chamber, panic grew. Reports arrived faster than they could be read. Entire fleets destroyed, colonies lost, leaders disgraced. The arrogance that once filled the council was gone. Fear took its place. One council member shouted, "If we do not stop them now, they will reach the core worlds." Another whispered, "Perhaps it is already too late." But humanity was not finished. Because deep inside Earth's command, another plan was unfolding, one that would strike the galaxy harder than any fleet could, a plan to shatter the illusion of alien superiority forever. And as the flames of war spread across 100 worlds, the galaxy realized the truth. Humanity was not irrelevant. Humanity was fire, and that fire was only growing. The war burned across the stars, worlds fell, fleets shattered, and still humanity refused to bend. But now the Council prepared something greater, an invasion force the size of legend, 1,000 ships, dreadnoughts older than human history, all sent toward Earth. The message was clear: crush humanity completely or lose the galaxy's control. Inside the war room of Erebus, Commander Elias Kane studied the reports. His crew was silent, watching him with fear and hope. Dr. Layla Marquez broke the silence. "They will send everything, Elias. If we face them head-on, we will not survive." Elias did not look away from the glowing maps. "They think in numbers, they think in size, but humanity has never won through size. We win through will, through cunning, through the one thing they cannot understand: unity." And unity had given birth to something the galaxy had never seen. From the shadows of Earth's orbit rose the secret project, a ring of steel that encircled the planet like a crown. Massive platforms armed with weapons strong enough to pierce even dreadnought shields, linked together by satellites and AI-guided systems. It was called the Eins Aegis Array. For years it had been hidden, disguised as simple stations. Now it was revealed to the galaxy as Earth's shield and sword. The invasion fleet arrived at the edge of the solar system. They saw. The Council was humiliated. Their mighty fleets had failed, their colonies trembled, and their power slipped like sand through their claws. In the hidden chambers of the core worlds, alien leaders gathered. Their voices were filled with rage and fear. "We cannot allow humans to rise further," one shouted. "If we do nothing, the galaxy will fall to them," another warned. So they chose their darkest weapon, a weapon spoken of only in whispers: the Leviathan Protocol. An ancient fleet buried in the void, sealed away after a war so brutal even the Council feared to remember it. The Leviathans awoke, titanic war machines larger than cities, engines burning with forgotten energy, their armor thicker than mountains. They rose from their graves like giants of the past. The Council sent them toward Earth with one command: erase humanity. On Erebus, alarms screamed, reports flooded in. Dr. Layla Marquez read the signals, her face pale. "They have unleashed something old, something beyond anything we faced before." Elias Kane stood silent, his eyes fixed on the star maps. "They bring nightmares against us, then we will answer with the wrath of Earth itself." The Leviathans crossed the border. Every planet they passed trembled. Human fleets rushed to intercept, but against the Leviathans their weapons barely scratched. Ships burned, soldiers died, hope shook. In one battle near Saturn, 3 Leviathans cut through entire human squadrons. The void was littered with human wreckage. It seemed the Council's monsters could not be stopped. But Earth had not shown all of its hand. Deep beneath the oceans, inside hidden caverns, the final human creation waited. It was not a ship, not a fleet. It was a living fortress, a planetary defense structure built into Earth itself, named Prometheus. It linked the Aegis Array, the orbital cannons, and Earth's core reactors into one weapon, weapon capable of unleashing storms of fire across the void. The Leviathans approached Earth. The skies darkened with their shadows. Alien commanders smiled. This will be their end. But Elias stood before his people, his voice unshaken. "They call us irrelevant. They call us weak. Today we show them the truth. Today we unleash the wrath of Earth." With a single command, Prometheus awoke. The planet itself roared. Light burst from the heavens. Energy lances pierced the void. One Leviathan shattered under the storm, breaking apart in flames. Another staggered, its engines torn from its body. For the first time, the ancient monsters felt fear. Human fleets surged forward. Every ship, every soldier, every weapon fought as one. They struck the wounded Leviathans again and again. Sacrifices filled the void. Pilots rammed their ships into enemy hulls. Soldiers screamed their final words before fire consumed them. But piece by piece, the Leviathans fell. When the last one burned, the galaxy shook. The impossible had happened. Humanity had destroyed the monsters the Council themselves once feared. The war was no longer about survival. It was about destiny. On Earth, people cheered. Children lifted their fists to the sky. Soldiers cried for their fallen but stood taller than ever. The council could no longer deny it. Humanity was no longer a small voice in the galaxy. It was thunder, it was fire, it was wrath. But Elias Kane knew this victory carried a price. Earth had bled deeply, fleets shattered, millions lost, and in the silence of the council's core worlds, whispers grew louder. If Leviathans cannot stop humans, what will? The galaxy stood at the edge of change, and the final decision would decide the fate of every world. The council prepared to beg or burn, and humanity prepared to answer. The Leviathans were gone. The council's greatest weapon had failed, but the war was not over. Because humiliation does not break empires, it makes them desperate. In the core worlds, alien leaders screamed in fear. Some demanded peace, others demanded extermination. But all of them knew one truth. If they did nothing, the galaxy would no longer follow the council, it would follow humanity. So they gathered one last fleet, every ship from every loyal world, a storm of steel and fire larger than anything seen before. It was the final gamble, win and erase humanity. Lose and the council would be remembered as ashes. On Erebus, Commander Elias Kane stared at the reports. The enemy was coming with everything. His crew looked to him, fear in their eyes. But Elias's voice was steady. This is not their final strike. This is their surrender dressed as war. They know if they fail, their rule is broken forever. Dr. Layla Marquez stepped forward. Then we do not fight only for Earth. We fight for every world that has ever been crushed by them. Her words spread across the fleet, and soon every soldier whispered the same line, we fight for all. The battle began at the edge of the galaxy's core. Stars burned as fleets clashed. The council's ships moved like a tidal wave, but humanity's fleets moved like fire in the wind, small, fast, merciless. Every human ship carried the rage of a planet. Every pilot carried the hope of a species. The Aegis array thundered from afar. Prometheus burned the heavens with light, and Erebus led the charge into the heart of the storm. Alien dreadnoughts crumbled. Council admirals screamed. But no matter how many ships they threw, the humans pressed forward step by step, strike by strike, until the fleet of the council began to break. In the chaos, something happened the galaxy had never seen. Worlds that once feared the council began to rise. Alien colonies declared rebellion. Old slaves picked up stolen weapons, and they all shouted the same word, humanity. The fire of Earth had spread, and now the galaxy itself burned against its old masters. Commander Elias gave the final command, break their flagship. Erebus charged forward, weapons blazing. The council's flagship, a colossal fortress ship, tried to hold, but under the storm of human fire it cracked. Its core erupted in flames, the council's banner fell, and with it, their empire. Silence filled the stars. Then cheers erupted from 1,000 worlds. Humanity had done the impossible. They had taken the galaxy's mockery and turned it into fear, respect, and freedom. On Earth, people filled the streets. Children sang, soldiers wept, leaders bowed their heads to the fallen. Humanity was no longer irrelevant. Humanity had written its name into the stars, not with begging, not with submission, but with war, with sacrifice, with fire. In the ruins of the council chamber, alien leaders bent their heads. They sent one message across the stars. To humanity, we give respect. And Elias Kane, standing aboard Erebus, whispered back, we never wanted your chains. We only wanted your respect. And now the galaxy will never forget the wrath of Earth. The war was over, but the legend had only begun.